that's what it's about for me now. When I'm no longer here, when you look at my children, what do you see? When you look back at my career, it's not going to be perfect, but what do you see? What do you say about me?
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Martell. Be the standout Swift. Okay. Yeah, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Interestingly, I've seen a lot of you this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
On about maybe 2 different continents.
Yes. Across 2 continents. Because we were in Turkey.
Yes.
And Algeria.
Yes. And Nigeria.
And Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah. And so this is the first, what's interesting is like I have a sense of occasion because this is the first podcast we're recording for this season.
Okay.
And it was important that you were the one because apart from being a friend, my friend, you've also been a friend of the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, because I have a number of episodes before OkayAfrica that we shot in your house.
Yes.
Even the Lona episode, it was in your house, your living room.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then also...
You sure that board is not my own?
No, yes, that board.
Yes.
The board I use, the whiteboard is yours. My whiteboard is yours. True. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then let me blow your mind. One more thing. One of these mics, I got it from you.
Oh, wow. Do you know what's so funny? Actually,
Yeah, I got one of these mics from you.
I was wondering what happened to that microphone at some point.
Yeah.
But see, that just means I'm so happy the mic has been doing great work.
Yeah, it has. I got one from you. I got the other one from Erica.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Great guy. I love him.
Yeah, so it's good to see you. A lot has happened since I have known you.
Yes.
And when I think of you and think of the work you have done, I see an indelible mark on the fabric of pop culture. Your songs are there. Your hits are there. You've influenced language. And so it's right there on the fabric.
This guy making me blush now. Jesus.
But don't you think so?
Honestly, a lot of times I don't really think about it. I'm one of those guys who's just happy to be on the field. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think with the way I grew up, where I'm coming from, it's important to be part of something that is bigger than you.
Yeah.
And personal accolades are really good. They're great. But when I look at the growth of the music industry and where it is, and even the gaming industry and the film industry, things that I'm involved in now, I'm happy that when you talk about the story, I contributed something, whether it's known or whether it's not known. That's really for me to know and for me to feel accomplished. I don't really think about it too much. Like, I'm just happy that I shot it.
But then this feeling of, or this purpose of being a part of something that's bigger than yourself. Yeah, you've been a part of something that's bigger than you.
Yeah.
But why that?
Well, I feel like, it's easy to get personal accomplishments, right? It's so easy to be, I did this, I did that. But what is the impact of what you as an individual is doing on the whole? For me, that impact, that growth is more important than the self-gratification or the personal achievements. And I feel like if the world was like that, it would be a really, really nice place.
Well, that contrasts a bit with, the music industry.
Yeah.
The music industry is about the self.
Yes.
It's about the self, like making the self larger than life.
Yeah.
Like metamorphosing the self via stories, via art, via products.
Yeah.
And lore, just pure lore.
Yeah.
Into idols.
Yeah.
And so, and you achieved that.
Whilst maybe not.
So doesn't that sort of contrast? I'm feeling the dissonance here.
I didn't set out to do that. So I think along the way, and none of those things I self-acclaimed, if to put it that way. My career started out. I've always been part of larger groups, the Tribe, Mohits, Maven. So for me, my foundation is rooted in camaraderie, companionship, team, people building together to build something big. So maybe because of that foundation, I've never really been one to think about pushing solo. Maybe if I did, maybe the career might have had a different trajectory, but I'm very content and very happy with my achievements.
Well, being a part of the whole, you've had to you've had to earn everything at every step of the way. Because when you were a tribesman, you were a
Dancer.
backup dancer and choreographer. Yeah, you weren't
Yes.
even a recording artist.
No, I wasn't.
And so, and then that tribesman,
The
that was
tribe, yeah, the
that
tribe, tribesmen, and then there was the tribe,
the
which was
tribe,
a larger
a
collective.
larger collective. So you became a part of that eventually. But wasn't it a bit? I don't know. I don't want to use a swear word, but wasn't it a bit unpleasant being a dancer, backup dancer, and choreographer, like adding to a system for people who make the music?
So for me, one of the one of the things I've always said this in a lot, that I've actually lived my dream.
Okay.
So I was always a dancer as a kid. I would win all the dance competitions at parties and things like that. So for me, being able to dance was great. I would do it for free. I got paid to do it, which is and that's great. Oh, there's an opportunity to sing. You do what you love. I think one of the greatest signs of happiness is if there's something that you would do for free and they pay you to do it. Come on now, that's a win-win situation. So for me, it was very. I was just doing what I love to do. The stage till today is still my happy place. No matter what the show is, whatever and I enjoy the art of performing on stage and bringing joy to, even if it's just one person in that entire audience. When I see joy and smiles on one person's face, I feel accomplished. So it was always a pleasant experience. No, I mean there are some little unpleasant parts of the entire journey, but such is life. But I think overall it was a very enjoyable experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
The sum of it all.
Yes, so
And that's the thing with advancement. The picture becomes clearer,
yeah,
and you gain a lot more understanding. I know, like, hindsight is 2020 vision, but it's beautiful to have that.
yeah. I mean, I tell people right now, when it comes to mainly the music industry, one of my superpowers is hindsight and experiences that I've had. Not only experiences that brought me success, but experiences that brought me failure as well. Because then you kind of have an idea of what to do and what not to do in different situations. And, my joy is being able to pass that on knowledge on to anyone who's interested to hear and see how they can add that to whatever they're doing individually to build something greater or bigger or advance in life.
A tribesman, when you made the jump into singing, what was your concept or your understanding of artistry at that point?
I think fundamentally, my concept of artistry came from my dad. He was always working, always a perfectionist,
That's Justice's.
Justice Syria.
Yeah.
And, on every set that I saw him on, I saw him transform and give his all to whatever character he was playing, And for me, when I decided to start singing, well, started rapping first, it was about giving my all and doing the best that I could to be the best version of myself in that specific role. So I wouldn't say I was the best rapper around, but I did put in a lot of effort where I was probably weaker lyrically, but better at performing. So I played to my strengths. I might not have the best verse, but I'll give you the best show.
Okay. Huh. And that worked clearly.
Apparently.
Clearly. And with Tribesmen, when you began to sing, you began to learn so much about yourself and the industry. Was that where you knew that this was you were going to be a singer at that point? Or when did you know, okay, this is my life?
So, you know what? I actually haven't thought about this specific moment that sort of happened, but I always knew one way or another as a kid that I was going to end up in entertainment. I mean, I probably delivered it into my head a few times. I would dream, see myself in front of thousands of people. You know, I wasn't sure if I was a pastor or a performer, but I sure knew that I was on stage with a microphone in my hand and there were a lot of people. So you kind of have that in your subconscious, in the back of your mind, moving, growing, and then circumstances and situations kind of gravitate you um, towards that. I mean, I was in medical school and doing the tribe at the same time,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was a bit of a juggle. But then when I graduated, I yes, I know the moment. So when I graduated, my dad had got me a job at a dental clinic on mainland, and I went in there, did the interview. The guy was like, "Okay, cool, you can start." So I said, "Okay, no problem." I'm walking outside, and I see one of the guys who was in my when I did my housemanship in Luth. So I was like, "Hey, yeah, you have far, you there? Yeah, yeah." So yeah, I said, come, I beg, I beg, I beg. How much did he pay? The guy said, "This is 2005." I was like, 45K. I said, "Hey." I said, "What are the hours?" I said, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Saturday. I said 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Saturday
That didn't sit well at all.
for 45,000 naira. He said, yeah, 8 to 9 a.m. is praise and worship.
Yeah, they throw in a little, salvation sweetener in
so
there.
wait.
They care about your soul, Sid. They
So,
care about your soul.
I didn't have a problem with the praise and worship, but the 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Saturday for 45,000 naira in 2005, I said to myself, hold up a second. At that time, I was doing a monthly concert. I think Soul E had this thing with, I think, a company called Star Coms or something.
Yeah.
It was a monthly concert. I was making 50 grand a month from that, and that was once a month, right?
Yeah.
Every Thursday at the Vault in VI, Sharp Band would do like a live night. I was hosting and performing at that every Thursday. I was making 50 grand a week from that. And then me, my brother, and a group of friends. I don't know if you know Demola Sadiq, Cyrus from Rhythm,
Yeah.
a few other guys. We would run the nights at the club. So after the soul sharp band finished on Thursday night, we would run the after party, and then we'd do Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I was making probably about maybe 150K.
Yeah.
So when I did the math, I was making like maybe 500,000, 600K every month, working from Thursday to Sunday, and I can sleep from Monday to Wednesday. And you now want me to go and do 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Saturday for 45K? Ah, brother, no. So I think that was the point when I said, nah.
So it was an economic
It was
decision.
a very economic decision.
Okay. And how did you navigate having to find your own voice back then?
So I think I'm kind of a chameleon. When I started out, Eldee was very instrumental with helping me find my legs in rap. So in the early days of my rap, I sounded a lot like Eldee. On some of my singing songs, I actually do sound like Eldee. So when I joined Mohis, I was more of a rapper. And when we started working on the curriculum vitae project, Don Jazzy was like, "Man, we need to try and see if you can do some singing, because the rap is good, but you're not the best." I mean, there's like that Green, there's Bad Boys, there's Mood 9, there's people dropping bars, and you're not really dropping the hottest bar. So I got to figure out how to get you to the point where you're maximizing your career, and it's not just you feel as if you're feeling. So he was like, I need you to try singing. So the first song,
How did you take that?
so Don Jazzy and I had a conversation very early, and I mean we had a very good friendship from London. Actually, no, the band now were close in London. But when we got to Nigeria, we kind of built a very strong friendship and understanding. And he had a conversation with me and he said, do you trust me? I said, you say, yeah. He said, no, 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 no. Do you trust me? I said, yes. He said, okay, if you believe in me and you do the things that I tell you to do, I promise you that I will make you a star. Those were his exact words to me. And you know that when you look into someone that's speaking to you, there's a certain levels of sincerity you can see in their eyes. And I said, no problem. So whatever he said, sing like this, do like this, do this back up, do this da 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 da. No, that's not the note. This is the, you know, that trust. So when he said, dude, I need you to try this, I'm not someone I always submit to a superior argument in any situation, right? And I was like, man, choo-choo, it's the way they talk. Make we try them like this. So the first song I actually ever sang on that was recorded was 1010 by Mo Hits.
Yeah.
You know, it was still half sing, half rap. I was like, you know, we could just throw like 4 bars in there. You know, but I think it went well. And then when we were working on my own project, it was like, yo, this is where we're going to go. We're still going to put some rap in there. We're going to have some rap songs. Bami Joe was a full rap song. Winchy was a full rap song. Something About You was a bit I had to do one rap verse at the end. So it was testing the waters and balancing out so that I don't lose the people that knew me from being a rapper to the new people who are like I said. After that, it was like, you know, we singing now. We gonna Drake this.
Yeah. Yeah, but when you think about trust,
Yeah.
as someone who joined music as an economic decision,
Yeah.
who chose music, not joined, chose
Yeah.
as an economic decision, and now you're seeing a guy tell you, trust me, I'm going to make your dream come alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could see the sincerity, but there's also the potency, the question of potency. How did you know this guy was going to do that?
So
From a pragmatic perspective.
Yeah. So when I was in the UK, when I met Don Jazzy, he was JJ Seed for when I scored. If you watch him in the studio, just as a creative, like he's absolutely phenomenal. Don Jazzy's creativity, how he comes up with stuff is otherworldly. It's not of this planet, you know. And
He got it like that.
yo, listen, there's a story I always tell everyone about Close to You. The song Close to You, that is probably one of, still today, when I'm performing and Close to You comes on, everybody's going mad, you know. I was playing, my brother and I were in Jazzy's room in Maryland. We were playing, I think it was FIFA or something at that time. And he was sleeping. And he was sleeping and he had his hand on his head like this and he was tapping. He was tapping. You could literally see his fingers tapping. Then he woke up from sleep, Mogo Studio.
So even in his sleep,
And that's
he
where
was.
that's where that came from.
I got a drink to that.
Please. Pour me a sip. I'm gonna take a sip to that too. But first I'm gonna get some water.
Oh no. That's so cool. You know, the last time I heard this sort of creativity pausing down from semi-conscious state or subconscious state, especially during dreams, is there you go.
Okay.
This is so cool. This is my first sip of Martell during this on Afrobeats Intelligence.
Shall we cheers to that?
Yeah, cheers to success.
Success. The Goldbird.
Yeah.
Oh, that is smooth.
Yeah, too beautiful. Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I just let it go in.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you already knew, you already had immense belief in his
Yeah.
ability.
Him as a person as well.
Okay.
Not just as a producer, but as a person.
What informed that belief, that vote of character?
So there is Jazz is very honest, straight shooter. Like, you know when people say you have yes men around you and no men, he's gonna tell you straight. Like he keeps it 100% real. If you are open, if he feels you are open to it. If you're not, I don't want wala. But he had always kept it 100 with me from day one, and I respected and value that because as somebody who's I constantly believe in growth, and I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. You know, somebody who's ready to, hey, guy, you're not supposed to talk that thing. Or some people will keep quiet and let you crash out. You know, he was always one that was there to say, hey, you know, go like this, do like this. And I valued that because I could see the impact it had on my life. And just the general aura of how we relate. Like, till today, I can't lie, he's my guy. Like, you know.
Yeah, you like I remember an episode, or rather one of our meetings, when you go into the country, like, yeah, I got to call Jazzy. Like,
Straight up.
yeah.
Straight up. Like, like when I'm in Nigeria, I stay in his house. There's no, I'm not going anywhere. That's my guy. That's my dog. You know, he's, you know, apart from my family, he's probably the one person who's been there in all my ups and downs, and he has never let me down. Never. It's hard to say that about people.
Yes, it
Never.
is. And I understand the gravity of
Yes.
it. Okay. That just made me warm.
maybe a little warm too.
Oh no. Okay. And when you started working on your first project, you worked in close collaboration with him.
Yes. 5 and 6.
And from the start, you trusted everything that was coming out.
Everything. Thing is, you know, because I was still new to singing and notes and melodies, you know, he would hum the melodies, sing the melodies, we would write the lyrics together, and then he would go record it. So be like, this is how it's supposed to sound. Because if you leave me at that time, my ear, I was relatively tone deaf. You know, if you leave me, I'm gonna see my flaws, clean my walls. You know, but I think he really helped me understand that side of music to the point where, you know, I didn't know what off key was before. You feel me? Now I can hear if somebody's off or if that doesn't sound right. And then he helped me to appreciate the deeper elements of music. When some people listen to a beat, the kind of things that I'm excited about, that the snare, the little hi-hats that's going in the background, the chords that are playing in the background that give the music the atmosphere on the bed. You know, so he helped me appreciate music in a very different way. You know, so for me, that was like, you know, really a strong part of my development as somebody who was involved in the music industry.
And when the project came out?
When the project came out, I think, well, we released 3 songs first, because that's how we used to do single releases, 3s. We would release Something About You, Winchy Winchy, and Pop Champagne.
So already you've had a trifecta.
Listen, the reception at the time, when I started doing show, I remember the times I did a show, they paid me 50K. I was like, one show? What's going on here? Only me? This is my money, nobody? You know, and you just feel happy that you're with somebody that you know that will never let you stumble. Your success is more important to him than his success. Because for him, if you are successful, he's successful. Yeah. And that's how he's always been. You can even see it now with the way he pushes his artists the way he uses social media, not just his artists, but everybody else, pushing people, supporting brands and things like that, is because as far as he's concerned, if he can use his platform and his abilities to help someone be successful, then there's less poverty, there's more success. So it's a holistic movement. It's like we're all moving, together. And if we're moving together, there's less people that are down there.
So yeah, I might not have the depth of relationship you have with Jazzy, but my personal relationship with him, I have echoes of what you have just said. He's never let me down. Every time he said I'll do something, I will do it. Every time I say hello, he responds.
That's one person that
Every time, and
he
very
doesn't
timely.
like to say he's going to do something
Yeah,
and not do it. Like that for him is like sacrilege.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even during when we did the podcast, Afrobeats Intelligence episode with him, was a very emotional episode because he was in the middle of grieving his mom.
Oh wow.
But he's like, yeah, I know, but like since this is important to you, come. And so it was nice. We shot it in his house, and it was one of my best episodes because it's
Oh, I remember that.
yeah,
Yeah, I was there for that.
yeah, and he was too beautiful. So yeah, shout out to him, man. And it's important that people like that continue to exist in the system because his success is a lot of successes are tied to him.
Yes. Yes, and that's a beautiful thing, and that's something that I hope to emulate. In life. Sometimes it's tough because I think people don't listen the way they used to. Everybody's very opinionated. There's a lot of information overload. But in my own little way, with the little people that I've sort of come into contact with, I'd like to believe that I've left them in a better situation than they are.
Huh? So when you became very successful, when you hit where you could say, okay, now I have hit my stride.
When I started to work out with bodyguard.
Yeah. I've hit my stride. At that point, what generally occupied your head? Seeing that your material world had changed so much.
Being better. So I feel I have this philosophy. If you tell yourself you have arrived, you have nowhere to go. So I'm constantly on a journey. Every milestone, every achievement is a rung on the ladder to wherever I'm supposed to be. Right? I think the final arrival point is death. So I'm gonna keep moving until that happens. I've never feel say I don't arrive. I mean,
How was the feeling on Surulere?
Surulere is a very interesting record because at the time I'd had a lot of misses. I had just lost my dad, just done a burial, I just gotten engaged. There's a lot was changing around me. And we had been working on the second album, Seduction, and we were looking for that song. And so when Jazzy wrote Surulere, it was like it was God sent on so many levels because not just the duality of the meaning of the track, I started out the tribe in Surulere in Ikolulu. That's where my music career started. But then the meaning of the word, that patience has rewards. That no matter how long it takes, as far as you're patient and you're hardworking, you will reap the fruits of your labor. And that has really been my mantra, through ups and downs, that as long as I know that I'm doing the work, I will reap the rewards. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And the truth of the matter is, I also believe, even if I don't reap the rewards, my children will reap the rewards. So it was so powerful, and the time that it came out, it was a song that tied the album together and gave me probably a lot of awards and probably my first MTV nomination and a performance at the MTV Awards in Durban. So, yeah, that was a very pivotal moment in my career.
Well, prior to that song, when you had all those, is the word "dud" is it a bit disrespectful?
It's not disrespectful. It's a fact. Dodd and Mrs. Yes.
Okay, when you had the duds and the misses,
Mm-hmm.
because the older I have gotten, the more I have become more emotionally intelligent. Yeah, I used to be very combatant before,
Yeah.
but now I'm more gracious,
It's okay.
even in language.
It's needed.
Yeah.
It's all part of growth. Don't worry.
Yeah, and it's an interesting feeling to have, or
Don't worry, I'm
space
pretty
to
sure a
be in.
lot of people didn't like you back in the day.
Yeah, a lot still don't.
Yeah, that's on them.
Yeah, but that's on them because yeah, I have done. I'm one of those people that have done a 360 on the industry.
Quite a few, I think probably like 720 or a few rotations.
Yeah, many lives, Joey, many lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you had those duds and misses,
Mm.
as an artist, what generally occupies your head, especially when it comes very close to a high,
Yeah.
and then you want to replicate that high, and the flame, it's not catching.
Yeah.
What goes on in your head?
I mean, it's a lot of emotions that happen at that particular point in time because
It's emotional.
It's very emotional
Why?
because music is emotional. As much as there are calculations you put into when you're putting a song, if you put out like this, if you do like this, if you do like this, it will pop because they like this kind of thing.
A lot of
As much as
strategy.
you do all of that, you put your soul into a record, expecting that it does well. So when it does it actually does hurt emotionally. And for me, going through those emotions, as much as they hurt at the time, I still feel they're part of learning and getting used to disappointment. Because they always say it's not whether you fail, it's whether you fall, it's whether you get back up. You put out a record, you have an idea of how it's going to work, and it doesn't. And then you cry, you probably feel sad about it. You watch your numbers going down, your shows be reducing. So it depends. Do you quit or do you say, hey, I gotta step up? Or at some point in time, you actually know that this might be the time to say, hey, let's move on to something else. Because I always say, the audience will tell you. If you day your house, they tell yourself, say, "I'm on this one I hit." The audience will tell you whether that hit or not. It doesn't mean it's bad music.
But it's just not accepted.
Exactly. And that's totally fine. And when you start to understand that music is very subjective, it's subject to the emotional biases, mental state of the listener or the trends at the time, you kind of stop to get upset about certain things and you keep it pushing.
And then when the heat comes,
You become an so there was a point in my life where I used to dig names though.
for real?
Man, that time I be, but then you realize the same person listened to my song, they liked it. They didn't sing this one, they didn't like it. It's okay. I didn't do my best, or this one just didn't appeal to you in a particular way. I remember one song, I think this is one, I've done a lot, so sometimes I listen to my catalog, like, the song Baby Shot, I didn't get it. Like, I remember when I did the song CPR, it was I think Jazzy and I were experimenting with EDM and pop at the time, with, Afrobeats and singing, and we did a song called CPR, it was on the Maven All-Stars album,
Yeah.
Solar Plexus. And then it was met with so much this thing. And I'm like, it wasn't a bad song. It just wasn't the time. Because now pop and EDM remixes of Afrobeats is the norm. It was way before its time, but the lyrics were actually beautiful and strong. I was getting comments like, how about which one be CPR? If you want to be doctor, go be doctor. I beg. You know what I mean? It hurts at the time, and then you take it on the chin and say, you know what? Someday maybe somebody will go back and say, hey, I want to sample that. So
With success, what did success teach you? Especially in the context of where we were as an industry. what it meant to be successful then.
I mean, I think the love was different back then. It was more genuine. It was more, you know, we, people really, really, really loved their artist. It wasn't as fickle as it is now. Nowadays, you're only as good as your last hit. Um, we had long-lasting fan bases, right? That didn't shift as often as they do now. I'm not to say that people don't have strong fan bases now, but I feel like back then it was a much stronger fan base,
They were more cohesive.
more cohesive. Yeah, um, yeah. I think it was more cohesive back then. So also, I think it felt you could still be you. You know,
And then you had privacy.
yes. Now every
Because to get in
second,
front of people, you needed outlets.
yes. And then, back then it was more of a grind. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it was good because I think it developed character. There was no link in bio, no MP3s. You know what I mean? If you wanted to get your song on the radio, you had to take a
Good.
physical CD. I mean, we're happy for technology. I think I'm a big um, supporter of technology and advancements and AI and things like that. But I also feel like, you know, it makes weaker people. You don't.
It's give and go,
Yeah.
Like we gained connectivity. We gained connectivity online, but we lost social cohesion.
Yes, and I think empathy as well,
We lost empathy because everybody became numbers or an avatar.
or an algorithm.
And the algorithm just pushes us up and down. And then with music specifically, with music promised us when technology streaming came, you had access to everything. They promised, and then, you know, on the other side too, you now could create
Yeah.
anywhere, anyhow.
Yep.
So it democratized both ends, consumption
Nowadays,
and
we used to go to
creativity.
studio, we
And
used
yeah.
to book session.
So
Now you just if as the odds.
I can create a song now, upload it now, and it's live in
Yeah.
in 2 hours.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, so that's what music promised us.
Yeah,
And they said, okay, we're giving you availability, and we're giving you the ubiquitous power to create. But it also did not tell us that there would be toll gates, there will be billboards online, and there will be toll gates, and there will be systems that own those systems.
yeah.
There'll be institutions that own those systems or are looked upon favorably by those systems. Think, for example, there's a reason why the majors exist.
Yeah, but they've always existed.
And even now in the digital age, they will.
So the way I look at it is this:
Independence
I
is a
think it's
myth
just-
in this market.
it's different toilets,
Yeah, okay.
right? The industry has always had gatekeepers and toll gates and things like that from time immemorial. It's just in a different format, and the growth or the development is how you navigate those. That's the way that I see it. I might not be the best at navigating the new system now because I'm setting my ways in the old way, so sometimes it doesn't make sense to me. But that doesn't mean that people aren't going through the same things. Was it better in my days? I think so, because now everything is about influence. Everything is about numbers. You know what I mean? There's less emotion attached to the way people consume
Everything is tracked and reported.
yes, which in a sense has positives and has negatives at the same time, but it's I refrain from doing it's totally saying it's better back then, now it's trash, now it's in the because life is in cycles.
Yeah. Now there's
when,
more avenues to make money.
you know what I'm saying, there's more avenues to make money, but I feel like there are less people making money
Okay.
because I feel like it's Nigeria is a place, and there's something I saw online where someone was like, why do Nigerians lie so much about numbers and figures? We have, I think we're generally caught in a fake it till you make it mentality. You get, and me personally, I don't really subscribe to that. There's some situations where you can't really help yourself. You go package to enter, but I feel like if we keep it real, keep it honest, you know what I mean. Let the work and listen speak for itself. Because smoke screens and screensavers are nice, but when they shake the mouse, what's on the desktop? You know what I'm saying? And that will always now show and determine and may cast a whole blanket picture on what the industry or the whatever is about. Say, oh, these people, they're not serious. If you really check it, they don't know how to perform. They don't know how to do that. Their fans are not really real fans. It's just social media and bots, and everybody's buying streams and things like that. You know, so there are ways to game the system to get the fame and acclaim. But then when you really boil it down to its elements and take it down to the nitty gritty, what are we really selling? You know, I have a lot of respect for people who have built brands and who have built followings to the point that they have influence, because it's not easy, because I don't try. You understand? So there's mad respect for that. But also, what do you do with that influence? You feel so funny. That's actually the working title of my next film, Influence. Yeah. So yeah, that's for me. I think there's no good and bad. I just feel like it's just how
You
we
navigate.
use the power that we have, how we navigate it, and are we losing sight of some fundamentals that make us, that will drive humanity forward in a sense and not regress us.
Well, we have AI now. I saw this the other day where there's this, the people, I don't want to give them publicity, but there's a group on Spotify. Some AI guy works it through and then remix songs. And somehow, one of Fave's songs, Intentions, he remade that. And while it was getting its buzz, Fave had to claim it. Partner collabed with him to put a face to it, did her lyrics, owned it like as
Yeah.
a bit of a remix to the song.
Yeah.
And so it's all changing, man.
Yeah,
Very
it-
soon.
it is,
Very
it
soon
is.
it catches up with
I'm
us.
waiting for somebody to do an AI remixes on my songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Hit me up.
Oh my god. Okay, so you don't think all that talk about the erosion of artistry, the decoupling of what it means to have soul, all of that.
Think about it this way. Before my um my career started, where we had instrumentalists and then we had DAWs, right? We went from, I remember recording with DAT. You know what DAT is? You understand? From DAT to now MP3 to CD to whatever. I've seen so much technological advances when it comes to music making that I can tell you for a fact that the new version of AI and all these things are just technological advancements. You can't really hate on it. You really have to just appreciate it, find a way to work with it. And people would say that, oh, everybody who's playing drum or keyboard is not, they're losing the soul of the music. You understand? But that's the technology available in the era that you're in. You're not saying because you want to keep the soul, you're not going to use the best technology available
Yeah,
because you want to go play drums. Or you want to do a live show.
Yeah, Locomotion lost its soul when the steam engine came in.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, everybody should go back to walking. Stop driving cars. Nah, come on now.
And with you in this act of your career.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to use that in this act.
In this act.
I'm not
of
sure
my-
which one it is. It's definitely not 3 because
Yeah.
it's not the last.
Yes. Well, in this act of your career, you've moved towards technology.
Yes.
Gaming has been your thing. Filmmaking has been your thing.
Yeah.
And you've, put numbers on the scoreboard there. When did you know and how did you know it was time to pivot?
That's a good one. So, upbringing. Always had a passion for film. movie sets, acting. My dad was just, it had been ingrained in my mind. So I always knew at some point that I would make film
Yeah.
or act or something like that. Gaming has always been part of my DNA ever since I was a kid. I go sneak, go mega games, go video nets, go play game. So those are things I'm passionate about. The things that drive me to pivot are usually, I like, if I can do something that I'm passionate about, which means I'm happy doing it, it's easier to grind because I know that I'm enjoying myself while I'm doing the work, even if I'm not making money at the time,
Yeah.
it'll pay off. But I have looked at the greats. I've looked at people in industry who have performed, get to the point where you're not hot anymore, then you start to dip, you can't perform, and then there's nothing else. So I've always felt like diversification and having, expanding your portfolio and different revenues and sources of income was important. Um, so I had said, okay, if I'm going to make film, I'm going to get training. So I went to the New York Film Academy to say, look, I can make films till I'm 90. I might not be able to be running on stage while I'm 90 the same way that I used to, but I can make films till I'm 90. So let me learn how to do that. Let me put one on the board. My first film was definitely dedicated to loving Mary and my father. But I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I have training for that. I have ideas. I'm a creative. I can create ideas, create movies. But I don't want to rush. I'm going to do movies. I can do one movie every 4 years. I'm not, rushing for that. As far as I know that the quality and what I'm trying to build is strong. Gaming with me, I went to the E3 conference in LA. And what I saw was a world that Nigeria and Africa had barely touched. There were people involved in gaming in the industry here in Nigeria, but they hadn't really gotten the acclaim. So I said, okay, fine. If I can use my influence as Dr. Sid to bring light into the gaming industry and open up a whole genre, a whole ecosystem that creates employment, wealth generation for new people to take their passion of playing video games into a career, then that will be something that I'll be proud to say that I was part of because I also love it. So venturing into gaming, looking at the global space, understanding that it's the same way mobile phones came from abroad. Now everybody's using mobile phones in Nigeria, film, Nollywood, Netflix. Everything sort of comes to Africa at some point, even though it may be delayed, but it still trickles down and it comes. So the idea was, how do we start building this ecosystem so by the time Nigeria, Africa is ready, we have something that is built and we can move. And that's pretty much what I've been focused on. I've had a lot of ups and downs in that because obviously there is a culture shift when it comes to gaming. Waste of time, it's not productive, what's the end point? So having that struggle to change mindsets about what gaming is about. I always like to be careful when I say gaming. I'll rephrase and say video gaming because gaming is generally associated with sports betting. So video gaming as a competitive sport, as a career, that's really what I'm trying to build now. And I'm very confident that in the next five years, Nigeria will be on the map as one of Africa's leading global video gaming powerhouses.
The work you're doing. So, when you try to like do something new in a country where you're not just enterprising, you also have to re-engineer society.
Yes.
Music did it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, the riffraffs were running the asylum.
Yeah, the inmates are running the prison.
Yeah, back then, when your parents didn't let you do things in
Bruh.
music, like that was retirement home for the ne'er-do-wells. Gaming has had that for the longest
Still.
because it still has that because the path to financial critical mass hasn't really become clear.
Yes.
And how do you have to solve that?
So it's a very simple but also a very difficult problem. It's good you mentioned music because I liken music to the growth of gaming, video gaming, because when you look at the way music started, geez, wow, what kind of rubbish is this? Now someone say, you mean Wababalo, like his fathers are now proud to say my son is a musician. Do you know what I mean? It's a thing of status. You understand? Burna Boy's mom is his manager. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's now switched because success has been identified. There was a pathway to revenue generation and financial independence. And that's because there was a struggle. There was people who fought for it, people who didn't make any money, people who just were doing it for vibes and made it attractive.
Who played for passion.
Exactly. People made it attractive to the point say, hey, I can put money in this. You know what I'm saying? And that's because now there's a global engine. Everybody's looking for international deals, international touring. There is actually now a pathway to make global revenue from music. It's the same thing. That industry existed globally. Nigeria started slow. We built our way up into that, and that's the same thing with esports and gaming. Some of the biggest events worldwide are actually video game tournaments. There was an event called the Internationals for a game called Dota 2, which you rarely even play in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, I think it was 2023 or something like that. The prize pool was $40 million. Largely part of that was community funded from people buying battle passes in the game. You know what I mean? If you look at video games like how would you start the English Premier League, right? It's really about eyeballs. It's about how many people watch. The more eyeballs you get, the more people are engaged, the more revenue you can generate from sponsorships and advertising, and then the more revenue that circulates into the ecosystem to pay gamers, to pay team owners, to pay or team tournament organizers, and things like that. Right now in Nigeria, the youth around the world actually watch more gaming content than they listen to music or television.
For real?
Yes.
Where the numbers from?
I'm telling you, it's absolutely crazy. If you look at a 12, 13-year-old, he's not listening to an album. He's not watching a TV series. He's watching Ninja or Kai Cenat or somebody playing video games on YouTube or something. The younger generation right now are consuming more gaming content than they are actually saying, I want to listen to the next album by this person.
And they play a lot more games.
Yes. You get. So when you understand the trajectory of where these kids are going, you try to meet them where they're at and create an environment that allows them to thrive in a safe space. You get and put guardrails so that people are not, falling off. So if you understand that global trajectory of not just the youth in general, where the global market is, you understand that, look, if they come Niger, waiting our own setup, be like how we want to take our range jam, how we want package jam. So for me, it's also about making sure that we don't lose the essence of what it is to be a true gamer while building an audience that would gravitate towards it. So one of the projects I have been working on is something called the KLL, which is the Contender Legends League. It's a franchise league which is owned largely by celebrities who own teams, and their fan base is what drives the viewership, so that a young guy who plays soccer or football in his house can become a professional gamer and take his family out of poverty. Do you know what I mean? Some of the biggest celebrities in Korea are gamers, almost at par with K-pop. You know what I mean? They ask a random girl, hey, what do you want your boyfriend to be? Say a gamer or a K-pop artist. Because the same way you say, I want to date Davido, I want to date Wizkid, I want to date Don Jazzy, you know what I'm saying? Because it's now popular and attractive. So I know I have no misconceptions that it's going to take some time, but it's what I do. We work hard to make sure that we get there.
What learnings or skill, apart from broad picture view and understanding the cultural shifts across time, what learnings do you, or rather, what have you transferred from music into gaming?
So as much as passion is part of the creative process, being strategic about it is important. But also, as much as you want to create what you feel, you are not performing to yourself. You're performing to an audience that has to accept what you're putting out. If you're lucky, they feel the same way you do. But if they don't, how do you tap into that market? So as much as I'm passionate about, I want to do this tournament, I want to do it like this, what works for the audience that I'm presenting this to? How do I perform my gaming events or tournaments or products to these or this audience that they understand, relate, and accept it. So being able to transfer that understanding that it's not just about you, what you want to achieve, but it's about the person who's receiving it, which is your audience, has really helped me even pivot our business model at my company.
That's so cool. Yeah, I think it's cool. So with music, everyone just thinks. So generally, people just think about music and think you make the song, you let it go. But there's an exchange happening.
Yeah.
And it's a deeply emotional and cultural one.
I remember this line from, I think it was an interview, 50 Cent or something. I was hearing him. So I was like, I made this record for me. This is my truth. I made this record for me. He said, if you made it for yourself, listen to it in your house. The moment you put that out, it is for an audience. You get. However you felt when you were doing it is irrelevant, because what matters is how they feel when they receive it.
Yeah.
So if you are creating, yes, create what you feel, create what you know, tell your truth, but bear in mind that somebody's going to receive it, and you have to be aware of the various ranges of emotional states and mental states there will be when they receive it, and you try to account for that when you're doing a body of work.
So how do you respond? And this is tongue in cheek. How do you respond to a guy who, or how do you create for a guy who probably, I don't know, just won the lottery, pop champagne?
It's so funny. Pop champagne came out of a real life experience.
What was happening?
So we went to the club. I can't remember if it was 11:45 or Reloaded at the time. And we had just finished the show, and we went there and we sat down. There's a whole crew, Mo Hits, Don Jazzy, my brother was there as well, and Andrew. Shout out to Andrew, by the way. He's a very important man in my life. So I just had to shout him out real quick. We had sat down and we just finished, so we ordered like maybe 10, 20 bottles of water. We sat, but they brought the water on the table. So we had a group of people who shall remain nameless because we're cool now. And in the next section, right next to us, and they were laughing. You see our so-called celebrities, they are buying water. You get. So I didn't know Jazzy heard this. So him and Andrew whispered to each other. I was like, So Jazzy at that time was only drinking red wine. I think specifically he was drinking Chateauneuf-du-Pape. The dirty bottle.
Okay.
So the next thing, I just see him go. And the clubs that were dark, listening, the whole place lit up with 20 bottles of rosé, Moët Chandon rosé, Nectar Imperial. They need those sparklers, and the whole place lights up, and one bottle of Chateauneuf-du-Pape. So he orders 20 bottles of champagne. The bottles come, da-da-da-da-da. And then I look over to the other guys, and they're in a huddle. They ordered 5 bottles of champagne and 1 vodka. Jazzy went,
No way.
bro, another 20.
No way.
Psh, bro, we were handing out champagne bottles. But he still must finish or he's not going back. Because I drink almost everybody in the club had champagne that night. You get. And then I think they ordered 1 more bottle, and he just went. We did 60 bottles of champagne that night. And then it was funny because next to one of the guys goes, me and Mojito, I'm Mojito.
No way.
That's
a snitch, man.
I'm telling you, no, because it was bad, and at that time we were kind of we did all these loudness that's gonna go down pass. So we went home. And it was fun in the car. We're laughing, what I'm saying? They were like, they don't know when we celebrate. We did pop champagne. one of the biggest. That's my show closer till date. That's where that came out of.
That's so cool. So now, in this act where you have a dual focus, or rather, you have
Multiple focuses.
multiple focuses, because it's music,
Yeah.
movies, filmmaking, and a few other things. What does music mean to you now? When you engage with music, what happens?
So, I mean, a lot of times I can't work without music. So when I'm working, there has to be something playing. Sometimes you hear something that makes you pause.
Same here actually.
And then because of what I do with movies and gaming, video gaming, music is a very integral part of those industries. So my first movie, The Order of Things, has an official soundtrack that is on streaming platforms, and a lot of the music was created for the film, to set the tone, to set the mood. So I'm constantly listening to music, new music that I can say, oh, I can put this in a scene, or this music says something about that. It is still part of where I'm going to, even in the video gaming industry, because apart from just the esports side, I'm also interested in the game development side, building a game, an African game, an African genre that we can export to the world. But that also would require music as well. So music is still a very strong part of who I am. And, because I'm such a, I still enjoy performing.
Yeah.
So
Adrenaline junkie.
maybe not adrenaline junkie. I think it's probably
dopamine
junkie for the stage.
Yeah.
So I still book performances and I still book shows. Shout out to Alternate Sound.
Yeah.
My band, brought up amazing guys. So for me, it's always going to be part of my DNA and who I am. No matter what I'm doing, music is a very important part of either the project or the process to create the project.
And I know gratitude. You love where you are.
Yeah.
You're happy with it. It shows that you did it well,
Yes.
or you've done it well, and you're doing it well. In flux.
I think that mainly comes from contentment. I could be bigger. I could have more money. But I'm happy. And I think that is probably one of the most underrated words on the planet. But happiness, peace of mind, produces health. And health is wealth.
Wealth. And yeah, that's a great perspective. What would you, even now, I know when you joined in, it was expression. At some point it became, what did it become?
Enterprise? Yeah, we had to get that money.
Yeah, it became enterprise. And now I know it's still enterprise, but that has compounded.
Legacy. For me, see, my father was a great man. Like, I know maybe a lot of people right now don't know who he is. Great man. On so many levels. My mom, hey.
Yeah, the fashion
I'm talking
icon.
about my mom a lot, but trust me, when you say a woman holds it down, she held it down. There are traits and disciplines that she gave that have made me understand how it is to be a father. My dad has made me understand a lot of things. But you see, I don't know anywhere that you walk and somebody tell you just to say, oh my God, such a fantastic man. Oh, a perfectionist. Oh, he made me cry on set. Oh, there were nothing but good things said about my father. He left a legacy that I can walk into a building and I mention my name and somebody says, "Oh, just a serious, oh no, come in, come in, come in." He didn't leave a bag of cash, but he left something that you cannot buy. Legacy, integrity. That's what it's about for me now. When I'm no longer here, when you look at my children, what do you see? When you look back at my career, yeah, it's not going to be perfect, but what do you see? What do you say about me? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Who have I helped grow? What institutions or foundations have I laid that is going to take another generation who will probably never know me to the next level? That's what it's about.
Yeah. Okay. Once again, this is the second time I feel another jolt of warmth.
I mean, it's not exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
From where you started now, you're at a point where Afrobeats Intelligence is having conversations that put proper context and perspective to human beings, people, and an industry that the world needs to understand. Sure. So I'm super proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
And just for the record, I don't beg and since me coming for the show,
but yeah, you are. You know, we did it. We did it. It was beautiful. We did it. First episode for this season. We've done it. So thank you so much for agreeing to do this. It's nice.
Thank you, Joe.
Welcome to my home. You never agree to come to my house.
You don't invite me now. And now he doesn't. Now only online with the meets. Me and Joe used to play Call of Duty for the longest time.
But yeah, I think we should wrap it up. All right, brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we're out.